ego, slammy, ego, slammy, ego, slammy, hey, hit it up hard, hit it with a strike, from the national anthem to the bottom of the night. Amen. Slammy, ego, slammy, ego, slammy, ego, slammy, hey, you already know what's up. What's that? Another home run. We should know the job ain't done till we hold that trophy.
What's up, buddy? Welcome to episode 386 of the Talking Fire podcast and YouTube show. The day has finally come. Fernando Tatis Jr. makes his return. His PED suspension is over. 80 games have been served, and he returns later tonight to face off against the Arizona Diamondbacks tonight in Phoenix. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of Padres fans there. So we'll definitely get into the Padres-Braves series that just happened, but obviously the focus for today is Fernando Tatis Jr.'s return. He is one of the best players in baseball. He is one of the best players, obviously, on this team. He is just such an exciting, energetic talent that someone that you just can't keep your eye off of. And we've been without him in a meaningful baseball game for a long time. So it feels great to know that Fernando's name is going to be in the lineup later tonight. I'm Ben Fadden here, Talking Fires episode 386. I appreciate everyone for being here. If you want to join the show, I have that pin comment up there in the chat. If you want to give your thoughts on Fernando's return or this Padres-Braves series, you can do it there. You can do it in the chat. When you use the super chat button, I'll definitely make sure I get to all of your super chats. Put them on the screen for the YouTube audience, the podcast audience. Obviously, I definitely appreciate you. Let's see here. Tyler, the King, has returned. Alex says it feels like Christmas. Yeah, Tatis Moss. Devin, the wait is over. Fernando is back. Johnny, there you go. Super chat. Thank you so much. So excited. El Nino is back. And I agree. Yeah, I think, Johnny, that's pretty much how all Padres fans feel. Look, there might be some people that aren't the biggest fans of Fernando Tatis Jr., and they were really disappointed in Fernando when that PED suspension happened. And I was one of them. I was very disappointed in Fernando when that suspension came down. But I know that this guy, he's sorry. He has already said that. And he's done everything to try to earn back the fans' trust, Bob Melvin's trust, the Padres organization's trust, his teammates. He's done everything right. He had the surgeries when he didn't want to have them. He had multiple surgeries, right? He came in early into Petco Park early on this year, way before spring training started. He was one of the first people to report to spring training. So he is showing that he is dedicated and he wants to do his part. And he was motivated last year, sitting on his couch, watching the Padres have the most success that they've ever had since 1998 without him. So that was motivation. And he doesn't want to let people down again. He let a lot of people down last year with the mistake that he made. A lot of people down. He does not want to make that mistake again. And I think a lot of Padres fans that were disappointed with him then, we're not going to forget that. But we're super, super excited for him to return tonight because he is a game changer. Just go look at quotes from Jake Cronenworth, from Nick Martinez, and how pumped they are. Xander Bogaerts talking about how he's only seen Fernando on MLB Network, right? In these regular season big spots and the energy he brings to a team. Spring training's totally different. He's only seen it as a fan, right? Now he gets to be in the same dugout and be a teammate with Fernando. He's excited about this. Bob Melvin tonight gets to manage Fernando Tatis Jr. in a meaningful baseball game for the first time in Bomel's managerial career. And it's the first game, obviously, Tatis is playing for him. So both guys are super excited about it. Everyone is excited about this moment. And it feels like Christmas Day. It does. I'm not someone that gets super into Christmas presents. Like, I like new Padres stuff. Yeah, I like that. But I'm not someone that's sitting there wishing for a bunch of stuff. My Christmas is like opening day. It's today, Fernando's return. the big games, right? October, all the playoff games there, especially Padres postseason games, right? Like that is where it's at for me. The All-Star game, home run derby, stuff like that, right? And today is one of those days where it's easy to get up and you're excited all day and you cannot wait for tonight in Arizona, Padres Diamondbacks. I cannot wait. I'm sure all of you cannot wait. So that's going to be super, super exciting. Um, 97. Okay, I think you guys have me here. Fly God 97 says Tatis is homering in his first game back. I mean, Kevin Acey put out something in his Padres newsletter today about Tatis in his first game back. I think he has a hit, at least one hit in every single return game from him, like off the IL, something like that. So, yeah, I'd expect a big night for him. I don't think that's going on a limb to say that. Devin says over 400 days since the last time we saw Fernando on a major league field. Crazy. Yeah. What was his last game? October of 2021? It was a long time ago. Long time ago. There's a lot that has happened since then. A lot. John says Arizona decided to capitalize on this. Tickets jumped by $20 to $30 at Chase Field. I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, did you guys see the Yankees the other day? Because Ohtani's in town in New York in the Bronx. They're selling Ohtani jerseys at Yankee Stadium, not outside from like vendors. No, like inside the stadium. It seemed. I think I saw that on social media. So they're not afraid to take advantage of other players that are not on their team. And for the Padres, if Fernando was coming back and he's like a star player for the Giants instead of the Padres, or a star player for the Diamondbacks, and he's making his return to Petco, and you're seeing a ton of Diamondbacks fans or Giants fans want to come to Petco, maybe the Padres would raise prices. Because I know they do that. For the bigger games, they raise the prices in the park at Gallagher Square. They raise prices in a lot of spots. So Ryan Nelson is on the mound for the Diamondbacks tonight. So he's probably not very happy that his next start is tonight and it's the return of Fernando. He's probably like, dang, he couldn't have been suspended for one more game. Devin says, anticipate cheers and boos. Pedro, what are we predicting? 1, 2, or 3 home runs going with 2 blasts? Yeah, I mean, baseball is hard. Hitting a home run is hard. So I'm probably not even going to predict any home runs, but I'm going to predict him to at least get an extra base hit, maybe single into a double. I have high expectations for Tatis for the season, but if he gets off to a slow start here, and I know we have even higher expectations right out of the gate, right, because of how well he did in El Paso. But I'm trying to keep my expectations a little bit meta because major league pitching is different from minor league pitching. And he could just slump right out of the gate. He did that, I think, in 2021. But then look how the year ended, right? He led in home runs and one of the best players in baseball. And he wasn't even healthy, right? He had like one arm healthy. So we should have high expectations for Fernando. I just don't want anyone to freak out over one game tonight if he goes 0 for and strikes out at times. It's the world game. His opening day is today. The Padres had theirs on when was that, March 30th or whenever opening day was. And I look at the Padres team, they need Fernando back, right? Like I said this on my post-game thoughts yesterday. It's probably not the best thing to have all this pressure on Fernando because it feels like there's more pressure on Fernando now entering his return year than there might have been if the Padres were scoring a ton of runs. Because the Padres, they're 9-11 right now. The last, 3 games, they've scored 1 run, I think. Or is it 1 run or 2 runs? Last 3 games, 2 runs. They scored 1 run yesterday, 1 run the night before that, no runs. Last 4 games, they've scored 2 runs because they got shut out 2 games in a row. The last game of the Milwaukee series and then the first game of the Atlanta series. So the offense just isn't clicking right now. And it feels weird to say, like, if I would have told you, yeah, we're going to be needing Fernando when he comes back because we're going to be under 500, I maybe some of the games that the Padres have had. Some of it's disappointing, it's frustrating, but I believe in the talent on this team. I don't think we should be blaming the slow start on Bob Melvin. It's not on him, it's on the players. With that said, I think the players will turn it around. I mean, Juan Soto, he's going to turn it around. I just believe that. Jake Cronenworth, he's going to continue getting better at the plate. He started off slow. Manny, he almost hit a home run yesterday. I got robbed by the center fielder. Totally reminded me of the Adam Jones moment, right? Um, Bogarts, he's probably not going to be that hot all year long. I don't think he's going to get on base every single game, 162 games. He's going to get on base. He's gotten on base in every game this year so far. 20 games in, he's gotten on base every time. Hasn't gotten a hit in every game, but walk, hit by pitch, something like that. He's getting on every game. So the offense needs him, but other guys need to take some pressure off of Fernando by being more consistent at the plate. Devin S., do you expect Fernando to steal bases? Probably. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets on first and makes Nelson pick over once, and he's like, "All right, I'm just gonna go." I could definitely see that. Also, do you expect him to throw someone out from right field? I don't know about tonight. I mean, Arizona's pretty fast. I don't know if this is the team you like place a bet on, to for Fernando to throw someone out. I don't know if he. All right, I think I'm back. Even though the screen's messed up. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, the chat's a little bit delayed. I just want to make sure that I'm good to go. So in the chat, let me know that you can see me. Sorry for the podcast audience. You can just skip ahead, but my internet, I thought my internet was going to start working because I moved it closer to where I am, but I guess not. So I'm just going to wait for the chat to tell me that they can hear me, that I'm good, and then I'll resume. Okay, we're good. All right. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, Devin. All right. So Padres Braves, just some reaction to these 3 games. Padres, they obviously lost the series, but they won yesterday. They didn't score a ton of runs yesterday, but a win will take it with how bad the offense is right now. It's just inconsistent, right? You had that 10 run game against the Milwaukee Brewers, and then you get shut out. Then you get shut out again. Then you score one, and you score one run. So I guess these last 4 games, the Padres have been consistent on offense. They just haven't been consistently producing. They've been consistently underwhelming, right? And yesterday, we'll go from yesterday and then move back to Monday, just because yesterday's game was the most recent one that happened. So 1-0. Nick Martinez, I mean, pitched his butt off. He does not want to go into the bullpen. And he did not have the best starts the first few times, right? But yesterday, 7 innings of work, I mean, he looked like a totally different guy. Had a couple walks, but it wasn't 3 or 4 walks like he was having in previous outings. Gave up just 3 hits, struck out 6. the 7 innings, no runs part obviously is the most important, and had some really good defense behind him, but you got to give a lot of credit to Nick too. Felt like he had a lot of ground balls, and especially when I know it's a day game after a night game, blah blah blah. But the Braves offense is so freaking talented that that is hard to go 7 innings and not give up any runs. That's a hard thing to do. So I don't think this is the last we'll see Nick in the rotation. Maybe this is his last start in the rotation. Maybe he goes down bullpen and the Padres ride with Lugo for now. And then middle of the year or something like that, they have them switch spots and they have Lugo go to the bullpen and Martinez be called up to the rotation, because I think that's a smart thing to do. I don't think Lugo and Martinez are going to be in the rotation, one of them. I don't think they're going to be in the rotation the whole year. Lugo has not been in the rotation full time since like 2017, and those were only, I think, 18 starts. It wasn't like he started 30 games. And Nick Martinez, last year, he wasn't in the rotation the whole year. He went from the rotation to the pen. So both guys, it's not like they're coming off a year where they were in the rotation the whole year. And I know they're built up, but the Padres are probably going to want to protect those guys because those guys are going to be important. Come postseason time, you know that Lugo, if he's in the pen, he's going to be important there. If he's in the rotation, starting a game 4 of an NLCS, he's going to be important there. Martinez, wherever he is, you know he can be important in the bullpen. Look what he did in the playoffs last year, you know? So both guys, they need to stay healthy, I think. And the Padres, they're going to make sure that or at least they can't make sure like 100%, but they're going to try their best, try to control the innings, I think, for Lugo and Martinez. But what an outing from Nick. A few really. There was that double play, I think, early on, right, with Manny. And then he made a couple plays. Best third baseman in baseball is usually what I caption these plays, these highlights when I tweet them out on Instagram or Twitter at Talking Friars. Either Manny being Manny or best third baseman in baseball. And I got to use both of those yesterday because he made 2 great plays. First one, it was in kind of like the 5-5 hole or kind of like 2 shortstop. Bogarts, I think, was just playing over more towards second. And he fields it, spins. As he's spinning, he's going towards like center field, left center, the gap. He's spinning and throws it perfectly to Crony. And post game, he was saying like, it's pretty easy, you know, it's pretty simple. Just spin, pick a target and throw. But he's had a lot of reps with that. So it's not like someone, you know, one of you guys listening, unless you play every day, could just go out there and execute that play. You know, it's just harder than that. It's harder than he makes it look. He makes it look super easy. Then later in the game, he has, I think it was an inning or 2 later, might have been the 7th inning, I forget. He bare hands a ball and makes a great throw. Like, I could watch that guy all day. Whenever he makes those plays, and then he almost homered yesterday, right? It always makes me grateful that, man, we get to have Manny Machado on our team for the rest of his career. We're going to have him for, 15 years in total, right? 11 plus the 5, so 16 years, something like that, maybe more. Maybe if he wants to continue playing, I don't know. He loves Nelson Cruz, so he's inspired by him. And it seems like he keeps himself in amazing shape. I've had his trainer on multiple times on this show. He's a great guy. They keep every offseason, him and Manny, Nick Soto, Manny's trainer, they formulate a plan going into every offseason. How was last season? How'd you feel going into the last season? How'd the season go? What do we need to do? Maybe adjust our planning in the offseason, adjust our training. What do we need to do to continue allowing Manny to be at this level of greatness, right? So they're not going to stop just because he got his money, you know? And if the Padres go win the World Series this year, I don't think Manny's going to go stop and be like, all right, I won a World Series. I'm satisfied, whatever. No, he wants to be regarded as one of the best third basemen of all time. And in order for him to do that, he's got to keep doing this at an elite level. for probably the majority of his contract. Because the Nolan bias it's there in the national media. I know Nolan's a great third baseman, but there's always going to be that bias. Unless Manny blows Nolan out of the water, there's always going to be that bias that Nolan, yeah, he's easily the best third baseman in baseball. I just don't believe that. But in order for that to change, Manny has to be really good consistently, and I think he's motivated to do that. He got off to a slow start, but I loved the quote that he had. I think it was after game 1 in this series when the Padres lost 2-0. It was their second straight shutout, and he said, "I'd rather have this happen now than down the road. It's just don't jump on the bandwagon later on. Don't jump on the bandwagon later on when we start effing raking and we're doing what we're supposed to be doing." I love that. That's what a leader should be doing, right? Having confidence in himself, having confidence in his team. Like, no, we got this. It's early in the year. Don't listen to what the media is saying. Don't listen to what emotional Padres fans that are reacting in the moment. Don't listen to what they're saying on Twitter. Who cares? Don't listen to them. We can control what we can control, and all we can control is what's going to happen today and later on this season, right? Just take it day by day. It's the beginning of the year. Like, we just started this thing. We've got a long way to go. So he has confidence in this team. That's what a real leader does. And don't mistake this Manny quote, don't jump on the bandwagon later on when we start effing raking. Don't take this quote like the wrong way, because I know there's some people that thought, well, didn't he say earlier this year that he likes the booze and he likes being held accountable? And now he's telling fans to uh, don't come back on the bandwagon if you're not on it now, right? Like, don't come back on. It's like, and some fans thought of that like, oh, so he thinks that we're off the bandwagon? Like, why are you saying that? Of course we're on it. No, don't take it like that. He's saying not the people that are just frustrated like we are about the Padres offense, the Padres team. He's talking about the people that are saying, like, Juan Soto's not worth this money. Bomel, I haven't really seen this, but maybe he's seen people think that Bomel should be fired, or people that are saying this Padres team can't go win the World Series. The way, look at them. They can't go win. They're already disappointing us. Like, those people that are already like, they have the mentality of like, season's over. They're giving up on the team. Those people, those the ones that are frustrated. And if you want to boo at Petco, he's not mad at those people. At least that's my view on it. So don't confuse the quote there with him like not wanting to be held accountable or anything like that. He definitely he holds himself accountable. His teammates probably hold him accountable, right? There's a lot of leaders in that clubhouse, so they're gonna be fine. I love the quote from Manny. He's the captain, leader of this team, and yeah, I think they should continue having that confidence because it's going to turn around. It's just a matter of time. So Monday, well, let's get to Tuesday first. So yesterday, obviously, Padres won 1-0. Tuesday, they lost 8-1. They had a 25-inning scoreless streak, but Ryan Winters pitched his butt off, huh? Like, or was that? No. That was Monday. My bad. These days, sometimes I forget the day of the week, who pitched what game after these series. Tuesday was Snow on the mound. He didn't even pitch that bad. He usually pitches better at home than on the road. He didn't go 6 or 7 innings or anything like that. That'll come later this year, just based on track record. He went innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, walked 3. So walks could be lower than that still. Punched out 5, gave up a home run, but like felt like the game was going to be over in like the 4th inning when it was 2-0, because the Padres just weren't scoring. They were not coming through with runners in scoring position. Look at the team runners. 1 for 7 Padres with the team runners in scoring position number on Tuesday. And that's not even as bad as it had been, right? I think it was Sunday. They were like over 10. 4 hits. Hard to win a game when you score 1 run and you have 4 hits, right? And that 1 run was driven in by Juan Soto. It was another ground out. He keeps rolling over. And yeah, it just continues to be frustrating, right? It's just frustrating that he continues to roll over on balls that you think that he's going to smash. He homered yesterday. So, like I said in my post-game reaction yesterday, hopefully that can turn it around. But yeah, it's definitely been a struggle. He's telling the media that he feels great, feels fine. He's in San Diego. The weather's great, blah, blah, blah. But it just feels like, obviously something's not right there. And I believe that he's doing whatever he can to go fix it. Definitely. He's going to work his butt off, he's going to continue to work his butt off in the cages to go fix it. We're all just waiting for that time to see, like, oh, okay, these last 3 games, he has a hit or multiple hits in every game. And then we'll kind of know, all right, well, seems like he's back now, right? We saw a little bit of it in the postseason. He slumped coming over to the Padres, and he's gotten off to a slow start here. His ground ball rate entering yesterday's game, 56.5%. Over half of the time, he's hitting the ball on the ground. Soto, at least for me, he's continuing to walk. So I like that. He's continuing to get on base when the bat's not going, right? So I still continue to like that about Soto. I know some people, they don't want to hear that. Ben, shut up, walks. Like, we don't pay him to walk. That's not worth, we're not paying someone $500 million to walk. Like, he's not worth that, blah, blah, blah. The hitting will come around. I'm someone that appreciates the walk. Sure. Do you want him to hit 30 home runs and drive in 100? Yeah, of course. But if he's going to get on base with the talent that's in this lineup, I think he will be scoring a lot of runs and he will help the team that way. Sometimes when his bat is not going. And then when his bat is going, just imagine how great of a player and how much production he's going to bring to this Padres team, right? So Soto's ground ball rate entering yesterday, over half of the balls in play, 56.5%. Eric Hosmer was 68.6. 68.6. 56.5 for Soto. So that's not that far away from Eric Hosmer. So that just shows how out of whack Soto has been to start off the year. But I think we can all agree, like, maybe not all of us, maybe there are some that think that Soto is just another Eric Hosmer, which I totally disagree with that. I think we can agree Soto is totally different than Hosmer. Soto's 24. And I think he's willing to adapt, and he's working his butt off to try to fix things. Eric Hosmer, he was someone that, got his money, and he was like admitting that, no, it's my way or the highway, essentially. Like, no, I got here, I got all this money, I've had this success the way I've done it, so I'm not going to really change. With Soto, he has $500 million potentially on the line, he wants that contract. He is motivated for that. So he's not going to just stop working and settle for, I'll take the 100 instead of 500, and he just wants to win, period. Right? Like, he's not only doing this for the money. He's someone that wants to win, that really cares. He hit that home run yesterday. Not a bomb, by the way. See how pumped up he was as he was looking to the dugout, as he was going to first? He cares. So I don't get that out there. Of course he cares. Anyone that thinks doesn't care, whatever, no. He cares. Some people think, well, he's just playing for the contract. Well, even if he is, if we don't sign him back, then as long as he produces, I don't care what the motivation is, as long as he produces and he keeps working, All right. I'm fine with that. So Tuesday, disappointing, obviously. Scoring 1 run, and it was on fielder's choice. It wasn't like a homer or a gapper. Frustrating. Frustrating. Monday was frustrating because Ryan Weathers pitched his butt off. This guy has done nothing wrong. I was telling Tim Haggerty on episode 385, is available on YouTube, podcast platforms. My interview with him, El Paso Chihuahuas broadcaster. And he saw a lot of Ryan Weathers when he was struggling last year. And he talked about Ryan Weathers and how he really tried to fix things this offseason and looking at a lot of video and all that. And it has worked. He has done nothing wrong. Ryan has done nothing wrong here for the Padres. Nothing. He has done nothing wrong to be out of the rotation, right? I don't see him being sent down. I think that he's going to move to the bullpen when Musgrove gets activated. Have Musgrove come in. Maybe it's a 5-man rotation, so it'll be Weathers and Martinez or Lugo that'll go to the bullpen. I think that's how we could see it. And Ray Kerr would go down because he just came up for Chris Matt. And then who else is in the bullpen right now? Would anyone else have to be sent down? Because you're moving 2 guys into the bullpen. Yeah, no one would have to be sent. No one else, I don't think. Because two guys to the bullpen, and then you're just putting Musgrove in. He's the only one that has to replace someone. So, yeah, I think that's probably what you're going to see when Musgrove comes back. I did see something in the chat about what the roster move for today could be. And I think that you will see not Brett Sullivan. I don't know if they want to have a Zokar go down, to be honest. I think it would probably be Brandon Dixon because he's on the roster right now, right? Because he got called up, I believe. I want to be totally accurate on that, so I'm going to look this up real quick. Padres depth chart, I believe Dixon's on there. So who could be sent down? Odor, a Zokar, or Brandon Dixon? It would be Dixon then, I would think. Because I don't think they want to have Odor go because he can play infield, he can play outfield, he's a lefty bat. And, I mean, Zokar, the speed, right? I think that has to be appealing in late game situations. And he's good on defense too. Maybe you see Padres have a big lead, Zokar comes in for Soto defensively or something like that. You could see that. I think Dixon will go down today. But yeah, getting back to Monday, I mean, Weathers 6 innings, 2 runs, 5 punch outs. His ERA is 2.81. So yeah, like I said, he's done nothing wrong. But Musgrove, obviously, he's going into the rotation. And Waka, he's a starter. He's in there. Snell's a starter. Darvish is a starter, right? And then Lugo or Martinez will be a starter. Maybe both. Maybe they'll go with the 6-man when Musgrove comes back. But Weathers, he's just kind of on the bottom of just on that rotation depth, I guess. Guys that are on the big league club. So it's nothing that he's done wrong. It's just, Bob Melvin, he was talking about how Tapia, he didn't do anything wrong. They just wanted like a fresh arm. Because he pitched a lot the day before, I believe they sent him down. Kinnear came up, right? Kind of like that. I mean, Weathers can be on the roster. He's pitched well. It's not like he's pitched bad. And it's like, yeah, easy decision. No, I mean, he deserves to be on the roster. The only way he won't be on the roster when Musgrove returns is if the Padres decide, hey, we need Ryan Weathers to continue to be built up as a starter. He's not going to get those innings at the big league level. So we're going to send him to El Paso to keep string games, keep going 6 innings and going a couple innings maybe out of the bullpen, right? Yeah, so that was the comment from Ryan. What roster moves do you expect? I think Dixon will go down. All right, I'm going to get back to the chat. Obviously, look, the offense, no run, second shutout on Monday. 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position, and it's bad because they went 0 for with runners in scoring position, but it's also bad because it's not like they 10 run. They had over 10. They went 0 for 4. They didn't have very many opportunities with the runners in scoring position. That's what hurts. Right? You get more runners in scoring position, you would think that your chances of scoring will go up because you're going to get more chances to do so. But Soto and Manny that night combined to go 0 for 7. Crony went 0 for 4. Kim went 0 for 4. Can't have that. And then I think it was Tuesday, right? Soto was the first hit of the game for the Padres, and it was like the 6th inning. That can't happen. That cannot happen. This offense has to be better if they want to go win the division, if they want to obviously be a playoff team, if they want to be anywhere near a World Series. They just have to get consistent. And the good news is we've got a long way to go. We've played how much of this season? What, we're 20 games in right now, 9 and 11. So we've played a little over 12% of the season. And there are some people freaking out, oh, this team's not going to win the World Series. They don't have it. This offense sucks. Might suck right now, but 12% of the season. That's nothing. Nothing. All right, I'll get back to the chat. Quick break here. Check out Gaglione Bros' famous cheesesteaks and garlic fries on Friars Road. You can visit their website, gaglionebros.com, for their entire menu and enjoy their cheesesteaks and fries at Petco Park and Snapdragon Stadium as well. This is not Padres, but holy cow, Mad Bum just got DFA'd by the Diamondbacks. That guy sucks now. Like, no velocity. What happened to him? Signed that big contract with the D-backs. Giants didn't want him back, and man, he sucked. The Padres, didn't they face Mad Bum for like 4 or 5 years in a row, it felt like, on opening day? Maybe it was 3 years in a row. And they just teed off on that guy. Guy was batting practice. So, not surprising. He's made like $71 million since signing in 2020. A 5+ ERA over 5. Terrible. I'm already seeing this stuff on social media instead of Mad Bum, Mad Gone. Yikes. I wonder who'll pick him up. I don't think the Padres would be interested in him. All right, let's get to the chat. Pedro says, Fernando is going to show what baseball has been missing, that sizzle and excitement that not even Judge or Ohtani can give you. 5-tool player like Willie Mays or healthy Ken Griffey Jr. Yeah. I don't know if he'll, at the end of his career, if he will end up on that same level as those guys. But yeah, dude, this guy's ridiculous. I mean, the home runs that he hit in the past, I know that's AAA, but that's ridiculous. An average AAA player does not do that, right? An average Major League player probably doesn't do that. He's just super, super talented. He's a shortstop playing right field, so he's going to do some really, really amazing things in right field as well. Pedro says, definitely big win yesterday to take the head-to-head season matchup in case of playoff implications. Yeah, that is big. I didn't think of that in the moment, but yeah. I mean, I was thinking more about, the homestand, it was 2-5. I know the Brewers, the Braves, those are teams that are trying to make the postseason this year, but we're trying to not just make the postseason. We're trying to go way longer than that. So they got to be playing better than they did. Like 2-5, it's unacceptable. But yeah, taking the optimistic view, yeah, they won the season series, 4-3? Because they took 3 out of 4 in Atlanta, took 1 at Petco. Braves won 3. So yeah. Devin says Chris Matt went on the fake IL stint. I think they want to keep him, but I doubt he'll stay whenever Suarez comes back. That's my reaction to Chris Matt. Yeah, if anyone missed it, he went on the IL yesterday. What was it? Hip hip strain or something. And I guess it had been bothering, at least that's what Bomel said. You can believe it or not, but Bomel was saying like it's kind of been lingering. The pitches really moved the way that they wanted them to. I'm not a pitching coach. So I don't really understand that. But maybe his hip was preventing him from getting enough action or something on his pitches. I don't know. That's just what Bomel was saying. But yeah, I think, look, he was out of options, and Padres, I think they still believe in him. So they wanted to keep him on the roster. So they say, we'll put you on the IL. And when you come back, go on a rehab assignment that allows us to keep you longer. And then maybe he proved to them there that I'm back to being who I am, and I'll just end up calling him up at some point. Matt says, just having a discussion about their weaknesses isn't jumping off the bandwagon. It's called assessing reality. Tatis lengthens the lineup, but there are still 4 to 5 black holes, kill rallies. Yeah, I mean, right now you could say about 4 or 5 black holes, but I think when guys are clicking, there's going to be maybe like 2 or 3, maybe bottom of the order. Catching position, maybe. When Tatis isn't playing, maybe the right fielder. Maybe Matt Carpenter if he continues to struggle, or Cruz if he gets in a slump. You know, someone's always going to be in a slump, I think. I don't think the lineup's going to be, everyone's going to be clicking like at the same time, probably. So, yeah, probably 3 when most of the lineup is clicking, probably July, August. Check in then and see how many black holes there are in the lineup. But yeah, I agree, Matt. Having a discussion about their weaknesses is not jumping off the bandwagon. I don't think that's what Manny was trying to say. Like, you can't discuss or criticize us. That's not, I don't think that's what he was saying, because earlier in the year, he was like, yeah, I like the boos. I'm fine with the boos. That's accountability. The fans care. Saying something to that. That's not a quote. But that's his viewpoint on it. That's what it was earlier in the year. In this quote, you better not come back on when we're effing raking. We're doing our job, essentially. We're doing what we're supposed to do. He's just saying that to those that are like going way out there, like going over the line. They're not just discussing the weaknesses and saying they need to be better. They're saying, I don't believe this team. This team's not going to do anything. Like those people. Like, okay, you're off the bandwagon then. Don't come back on. I think that's what he's talking about. And maybe, I don't know who, maybe it was AC. He loves to get at AC in those post-game interviews, scrums. Maybe it was AC that asked the question about struggles and the fans being disappointed. And maybe just the way the question was framed got Manny pissed off. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know who asked that question. I didn't see the video of it. Pedro says, here's a good one, Ben. Do you think this criticism will push Soto out of a Padres uniform? Speculation says he prefers the East Coast. I don't think so. I mean, wherever he goes, I think it's going to be to a market that cares about baseball. So there's going to be criticism wherever he goes. He's Juan Soto. So I think a lot of it's going to come down to the money. Like, he's not going to go sign with like the Kansas City Royals or I guess they'll probably still be the Oakland A's at that time, right? I think 2027, I think, is when the A's are probably going to be in Las Vegas, which sucks. I mean, as San Diego sports fans, right? Charger fan, ex-Charger fan. Don't worry, I'm not a Charger fan now. Definitely not anymore. But I can definitely feel for them. At least that owner is like paying for it with his own money. But yeah, can definitely feel for them. But he's not getting back to Soto. He's not going to the Oakland A's, right? He's going to go to a contender, probably a big market team that has the money. So the big markets, it comes with criticism, especially when you're on a contender and you have the attention on you. And if he prefers the East Coast, okay, then he prefers the East Coast. If he goes and plays for the Mets, there's going to be probably more criticism on him there than here, or the Yankees, or yeah. I don't see him going to the Yankees, but I'm just throwing that out there. there's going to be a lot of criticism on him wherever he goes. So I don't think the criticism is what will push Soto out of a Padres uniform. He's not going to sit there and say, "Oh, they criticize me on sports radio or on podcasts in San Diego. Fans on Twitter, they're mean to me. I'm not signing there." If he struggles in New York or wherever he goes, if he doesn't come back to the Padres, you think he's not going to get mean stuff? Of course he is. Yeah, sorry about the internet. I thought it was going to work better. Hopefully it is now. I haven't seen anything on my screen, any issues, so hopefully it's working better now. I thought it was supposed to work better, but because it was right when I moved it closer to me, but I guess not. Yeah, Devin, what do you think about the A's moving to Las Vegas, Ben? I don't like it. I understand it, but the A's fans, the attendance is not the problem. It's the team not willing to invest in a better stadium, not willing to get that process. Like they were, it felt like they were using Oakland. Like, well, Vegas is here. You better pay up. Blah blah blah. And the process just continued to drag on and drag on and drag on. And Oakland was just tired of it. And Vegas is appealing to the A's. Yeah. I don't know a whole lot of info about that, but the A's fans are not the problem. Just like Charter fans weren't the problem with San Diego, they were not the problem. If the A's like actually cared about winning and they were spending money and there weren't possums in the broadcast booths and all that, like they actually cared, then probably more fans would have showed up and they would have got more money. But so my view on that is it's on them. This is all on the A's organization. And I definitely feel for A's fans. Definitely. There's probably a lot of A's fans that are crying right now. I know I was when the Chargers left. It definitely hurts when a city, not a city, sorry, an owner, a franchise that has been here for a long time, they just decide, yeah, we don't really care about you. No, we're we're gonna go somewhere else. Yeah, that hurts. Yeah, I saw that, Devin. Scherzer got ejected for the sticky substance yesterday. Little payback from trying to get to roast the Padres. Yeah. Buck Showalter. Yeah, so he goes and has the umpires totally dressed down Musgrove essentially in the wild card series. And then yesterday, Scherzer gets tossed. He says it's rosin and sweat, and that's just sticky. There's sticky stuff there. I have more thoughts on this, and I will have a video out on this later on my MLB YouTube channel, Baseball Struck. I recommend you check that out. Daily baseball content there. Um, kind of my thoughts on it is just like the umpires, they need to be clearer. They need to announce to fans, to the TV audience, what is going on. Why is this guy getting ejected? Instead of all of us kind of just assuming stuff. And there's a gray area. Like some umpires will say, yeah, too sticky. Stickiest, like the umpire yesterday, I think Phil Cuzzier, or maybe it was Bellino, Dan Bellino, he's the crew chief, saying that this is the stickiest we've ever felt someone. But maybe another umpire has felt someone stickier. So, like, there's no like firm, okay, this is why, if you reach this level, you're ejected. No, it feels like it's just based on the umpire, and that's not fair to the pitchers. I don't think. All right. I want to get to some other Padres notes here. So Musgrove, obviously, like I talked about a little bit earlier, returning on Saturday. That should only help. I think, look, the offense is the main issue. So even if Musgrove returns, he could go 7 innings and give up 1 run. He could do the Ryan Weathers the other night, go 6 innings and have a great start. And the offense doesn't do anything and the Padres lose. That could happen. But it's going to help the team because he helps the rotation. He's one of the best pitchers on the Padres. And that helps the bullpen out because someone's being sent to the bullpen. And it's not going to be Snell. So all of the other options to be sent to the bullpen, they have all done well, I think, pretty well in the rotation so far. So, like Martinez, he's done okay. Weathers has done, I think he's outperformed our expectations of him. They're going to help out the bullpen. If Lugo goes down there at some point, he was the second best Mets reliever last year. Buck Showalter trusted him and Edwin Diaz. That was pretty much it last year. Who else? Yeah, Martinez, if he goes down there, we know he's had success there. So Musgrove helps the rotation, but this will also help the bullpen too because it adds someone into that bullpen that has been up and down so far this year. So I'm definitely excited for the Musgrove return. The Tatis return, in terms of like what should we expect tonight? At least one hit. He'll probably get some action in right field. He's playing right field, leading off probably. I'm talking about like balls hit to him. Probably get some action there. We'll see if someone tries to run on him today. Maybe runner on second base and a single is hit and they try to run, or on third, sack fly, try to run on him. We'll see what happens there. The fan reception I'm interested in seeing, like how many Diamondbacks fans are going to show up to boo him? Or is it going to be more Padres fans? Are we going to notice more cheers than boos? To be honest, I feel like we will, because from what I'm seeing on social media, there's a lot of Padres fans that are going to be traveling up there to Arizona. And they're flying there or they're driving there, maybe took today off. Maybe they took today and tomorrow off and just went to Arizona for 4 days, or at least that's what they're going to do. So I think there's going to be a ton of Padres fans there. And we know that there's Padres fans in Peoria. So they'll definitely come. Like, this is definitely a game that you go from Peoria to, what is it, Phoenix, wherever Chase Field is. That's definitely a trip that you make for the Tatis return, right? So I think we're going to hear a good amount of cheers in that broadcast tonight when we're all sitting at home watching this Padres game. So that's kind of my fan reception expectation. There's going to be boos. There will. But I don't think it's going to be as bad as like Dodger Stadium this year, especially, and Philadelphia, and when they go to New York with the Yankees, right? It's not going to be that bad, I don't think. Chris Matt obviously hit the IL. I don't think the Padres want to give up on him yet. So he probably does have a little bit of a problem with the hip, but I don't think that's totally why he's on the IL. He's just out of options, and that's a way to keep him in the organization for now. Luis Camposano on the IL, left thumb strain, has a wrap on his left hand. I believe the last series reaction show, he was not put on the IL yet. I believe he was put on the IL, I think, Monday. Brett Sullivan was called up, and then he started on Tuesday. Campy, according to him, it felt like it was going to be maybe a few days just off, and it wasn't going to be that big of a deal. But now that he has a wrap on his hand, it feels like it's going to be a delayed process. I don't know if he'll have to go do rehab games, or if he'll just do some simulated games maybe, or just catch a lot of bullpen sessions and he'll be good to go. But it's obviously, it sets it back, right? It sets the Campy maybe starting timeline back, because going into that Brave series, or it's actually when the Padres came back home, Campy was going to get the same amount of playing time as Nola. That 4-game series against Milwaukee last weekend, it was going to be Campy 2 games and Nola 2 games, but Campy got hurt, so it ended up being Nola catching that Sunday game for Darvish instead of Luis Camposano. I would have been interested in seeing Campy catch for Darvish. That would have been definitely interesting. Or maybe, I don't know if that was the plan for Campy to catch Sunday. I thought it was. I thought they were going to go every other day in that 4-game set. I thought, but maybe Bomel, he would have had Nola continue to catch Darvish. Didn't want that yet, and he would have had Campy catch Saturday. But obviously, the thumb thing got kind of re-aggravated on Friday when he played. Thursday was when he jammed it warming up Nick. So didn't think it was going to be that big of an issue, and it might not. But Campy is losing starts right now because he's just not available. I'm not saying like he's going to lose starts when he comes back, but I don't expect the Padres to make him the starting catcher right when he comes back. He's going to have to earn that. So It's just delaying that process of him potentially being the starting catcher, which I think most Padres fans want, just to see what he can do as the main consistent starting catcher, because Nola's just obviously not getting it done right now. I think he's been a little bit better at the plate. Brett Sullivan, I think, is a pretty good backup catcher. He spent like 8 years in the big leagues. Or not big leagues, sorry. 8 years in the minor leagues. So he's definitely gone through it, and he didn't give up. So I'm definitely happy for Brett to be able to come up to the big leagues. So we'll see what happens with the catching situation. Obviously, it's a bummer that Campy's not playing right now. Hopefully, at some point next week or so, he'll be able to definitely start some more baseball activities, and he'll be good. And then we can start seeing him some more games. Again, don't know if a rehab assignment is going to happen or not, but that's the latest there on Luis Camposano. I'm seeing a ton of people retweeting Fernando's tweet today. I think he pretty much said, "What a beautiful day" in Spanish. So he's excited. Yeah, I'm seeing some of the hype videos going around. We're excited. The fan base is really, really pumped up for this. As they should be. As they should be. Tatis is a game changer. I mean, I'll pull up this quote that I posted on Instagram today. This was from an article from Kevin Acee. Jake Cronenworth was speaking to him. And he said he brings something, talk about Tatis, Crony saying this, he brings something that really no other player in the league does. He's a spark. He's relentless energy throughout the game. It's a guy you can feed off of at any point in the season. Having him at the top of the lineup doing what we know he can do, I think if anything, it's going to give us a fire under our butts. And feels like right now the Padres could use this, right? Use this spark, because 9-11 is not the record we expected through 20 games of the season. But the good thing is it's early. Padres offense has been slumping, not doing so great. But I think tonight it's going to be hard for Padres players in that lineup to not have energy and not want to go blow the doors off of the Diamondbacks tonight in Fernando's return, right? So maybe it does help. But at the end of the day, like, are you going to be able to sustain that energy throughout the rest of the season? The other, what are we? So we're 12%. So the other over 87% of the season, a little over 12% of the season we're into right now. Are you going to be able to sustain that energy, right? Tonight, you should definitely have energy. Are you going to be able to sustain that? We'll see what happens there. I think Tatis will only help that if he can stay healthy. I think he can get to 120, 130 games. He's already missed 20, so the max he can get this regular season is 142. They're not going to play him every day, but I think with the surgeries, he's as healthy as he's been since like his rookie year, probably 2020 maybe. I think this is the best chance that Tatis can stay healthy for a full season that he's eligible to play. Like, obviously he can't play the full season this year. But starting now, I think this is the best chance for him to stay healthy so far in his career. All right. Another break here to tell you about Underdog Fantasy, and I'll give you some Underdog picks after this break. I want to tell you about the best and easiest way to play fantasy sports. It's Underdog Fantasy. They have great pick'em games and best ball tournaments. In pick'em games, just pick higher or lower on 2 to 5 players' stats, and you can win up to 20 times your money in a single night. You can go cross-team, cross-league, and even cross-sport. Best ball revolves around the draft, which is what every fan loves the most about fantasy, and it eliminates the hassle of having to manage your roster all season long, resulting in a fun and easy fantasy product. How does it work exactly? You enter a contest where you participate in a snake draft against other users. That lineup that you drafted competes against every other draft in the entire contest. The better the combined performance of your team, the more money you win. After your lineup is all played, Underdog will take the best performing players and automatically set them as your starting lineup. That's it. No waivers, no trades, no worrying about who to start or sit. After you complete your draft, your part is done. Underdog Fantasy offers best ball in a variety of ways, including daily contests, weekly contests, playoff contests, and season-long contests. You can either enter into these and compete against thousands of other entrants for huge prizes, or, if you'd like, you can enter into a private draft with friends and family to compete for a smaller prize pool. Underdog keeps it super simple with their easy-to-use website and mobile apps. Sign up now by clicking the link in the description or by using the promo code TALKINGFRIARS, and you'll double your first deposit up to $100 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit of $10 or more. So if you deposit $100, you get $100 free. If you deposit $10, you get $10 free. All right, so I'm looking on Underdog right now, and the picks higher, lower tonight. Fernando Tatis Jr., 2 total bases, higher or lower. Who thinks that Fernando is going to have higher than 2 total bases tonight? I think there's a good chance of that happening. If it was, 1.5, I'd probably be a little bit more confident, because if he only gets 2 total bases, then you don't win anything because it's higher or lower. But he could definitely do that. I mean, double maybe in his first at bat. I can definitely see that happening. Or a homer in his return. He did that, I think, in 2021, right? Off of Walker Buehler. So I can see that happening. Xander Bogaerts, half a single tonight, higher or lower? I'd probably just continue to go higher on Bogaerts. I mean, I know he doesn't have a 20-game hitting streak, but a lot of those games where he's gotten on base have been from hits, right? Let me look at – I haven't looked at his game log. I'm going to look up Xander's game log right now and see how many games – look, this is singles. It's not a hit, so if he doubles, I don't think it counts. I think it's just singles only. But just looking at hits, so out of the 20 games that he's gotten on base, 18 of those he has gotten a hit. 18 of the 20 games, he has at least gotten 1 hit to start off the season. I'd say that's pretty dang good, huh? Pretty good. Matt says, what's the pitching matchup tonight? Ryan Nelson is on the mound for the Diamondbacks, and Michael Wacha is on the mound for the Padres. The higher lower for him strikeout-wise is 4 for Wacha. 1.5 walks allowed, 92.5 pitch count. Higher or lower on those? I'd probably go higher on the strikeouts, just barely. Higher on the walks, because walking 2 guys, that's not a lot of walks. And then 92.5, I'd probably go higher on that. I mean, Wacha, he's someone that can work pretty deep into games. Last 2 starts, he's thrown more than 92 pitches. That's just my 2 cents there. So, yeah, that's the pitching matchup, Matt. Nelson and Wacha. All right, before we get out of here, as always, some San Diego sports stuff here. The San Diego Wave. Last night, first game of the Challenge Cup, which is an in-season tournament. So these games do not count towards the NWSL, the Wave's regular season record. So if they go 6-0 in these first 6 Challenge Cup matches, that's not going to matter. That's not going to help them make the playoffs this year. That just helps them in the Challenge Cup, like an in-season tournament. It used to be in the preseason. Now it's running at the same time during the regular season. Not all throughout the season, but first 6 games, I believe, are the kind of regular season of the tournament. And then after that, there's the semifinals and then the final, and there's $1 million prize pool money for the semifinalists. So they split that up. Wave won last night. They beat the Portland Thorns 1-0. Jaden Shaw scored. Now, it was on an own goal. It hit off of one of Portland's defenders and then went in. So it wasn't like the cleanest goal, right? The best highlight, but hey, a win is a win. You're going to take it. You're going to take the 3 points. And the Wave now overall this season, they improved to 2 or no, 3, because 3 wins. They won the first 2 games of their season at home. 3-1. No draws yet. So 3-1 so far. They lost to OL Reign last weekend. They have a match this weekend, I believe, against Angel City up in LA. So I'm sure there's going to be that's going to be a great environment in LA for that one. Alex Morgan did not play a whole lot. She entered late in the second half. Naomi Gurma, they didn't play the whole game either. They're not going to play the whole game for all of these Challenge Cup matches because they're trying to get ready for the World Cup. They've had a lot of matches recently because they had 2 friendlies against Ireland in the United States away from the Wave during the international break. Then they came back and played last weekend in Seattle for the Wave against OL Reign. So that's 3 matches in like 7-8 day period. That's a lot. So they weren't going to play a full 90 minutes last night in Wednesday night's match. Just like Sophia Smith for Portland did not play all 90 minutes there. Their priority is still on the regular season matches, at least early on here in the Challenge Cup games. Their priority early on is the regular season matches because those actually, help them make the playoffs. Where the Challenge Cup, you could win the Challenge Cup and suck in the other regular season matches and not make the playoffs. So there's the update there on the Wave. And then I'll get back to the chat here to end this episode. Game Effect asks, would you move Carpenter to first and Crony to second? No, not on an everyday basis because I like the Carpenter Cruz DH platoon. Carpenter, he's like 37. I don't know if that's the best for him to be playing every day, especially when he's struggling at the plate. It's not like he's hitting 400 or he's like having Xander Bogaerts' stats, right? Where he's getting on base every game and having a hit in 18 of the 20. He's not doing that. He's scuffling at the plate. So I would not do that right now. Maybe later when he's hot, but I would not do that right now. I like having Kim at second. Having Crony at first. Crony has been great at first base. Finally, it's great to have a first baseman that can stretch and someone that's athletic. I think we all know who I'm talking about. That was not. It's great to have that. He made a great diving play the other day. Had another pretty good play yesterday, I think, to his right. But I'm talking about the diving play he made in one of the night games. I think it was maybe the first game of the series against Atlanta, diving down the line. He's not someone that's going to just give up playing when the game is out of reach, when it's 8-1 or 6-1. He's not going to stop playing hard. And that's part of what you got to love about Crony and about some other guys on this team. There's a lot of guys that love to play. They want to play every day. They don't like having those days off. Pedro says that Dennis Rodman daughter is a baller. Yes, I understand people are going to say, yeah, that's Dennis Rodman's daughter. Some people will think of her as that, but no, her name's Trinity Rodman. Yes, she's amazing. Yeah. She's definitely making her name for herself. She's not just a player in the league that is known as Dennis Rodman's daughter. At least hopefully she's not for most soccer fans. Yeah, she's known as Trinity. Like I don't think of her I used to, like, first when I started following, of like, oh, okay, that's Rodman's daughter. And basketball fans probably think about her as that, or if they even know that she plays professional soccer. But she's on the U.S. women's national team. She's arguably the best player on the Washington Spirit. She is really, really good. So, yeah, of course, I'd love Trinity to be with the Wave, but I don't think Washington wants to lose her. But yeah, she's tremendous. Trinity Rodman. She's going to be on the national team. She's going to be on the World Cup roster. She might be starting because of, unfortunately, Mallory Swanson's injury that she suffered during one of the international matches, the friendly against Ireland. I think it was the first one a couple Saturdays ago. Man, that injury sucked to watch. But yeah, Trinity's probably going to benefit from that. Brisk asks, when do you think we will see Tatis at shortstop? I don't know how many times we will this season, to be honest. I feel like this year they really want him to get comfortable at right field. And Bogarts, I mean, he's someone that plays pretty much every day. And if he's not playing every day, Kim can play. So maybe it'll have to be a matchup thing. Maybe Kim is really slumping. They want to give Bogarts a day off, as maybe a half day off. Maybe Tatis would play short then. But it feels like he's doing most of his work in right field, and he is focused on right field. So if I had to put a number on it, I'd say if he's healthy and everyone else is healthy, obviously, I'd say probably definitely less than 10, maybe even less than 5 games this year. Not a lot. Game effect, Tatis over or under 2.5 hits today. I'm going to go under because 2 hits is still probably a good day for him tonight. So I'll just say under on that. I think that's a pretty easy under, even though I might look like an idiot and he has like a 4 or 5 hit game. And I wouldn't be, maybe he has 3 home run game like he had in El Paso. That's just how good of a talent he is. But I'll go under on that. All right. Thank you, everyone. Episode 386, Talking Friars. That is it. Ben Fadden signing off. Tatis night. It's here. He's back tonight. Cannot wait. I'll have the highlights and stuff, obviously, on social media. Pre-game thoughts here on this YouTube channel. Post-game as well. I appreciate everyone for their time today. Go Padres, and I'll talk to you all later.